And welcome back. It's Thursday morning. Breaking. Prime Minister May releases shocking news about terrorist attacker. Prime Minister May says the London attacker was a British-born and had been investigated previously. So just another perfect example on how foreigners, well, not foreigners in particular, I should say Islam in particular, has probably the hardest time assimilating into Western civilization for two main reasons. One, Islam is basically the opposite of Western civilization, and two, they don't want to assimilate. They do this on purpose. London attacker was British-born and had been investigated over concerns of violent extremism, Prime Minister says. Well, no shit. Breaking. London police make multiple arrests following overnight raids. Might slow the crime down, but it's not going to stop it. There's only one solution. Either Islam gets, well, I should say two solutions. Islam either gets a major reform in which Muslims take the law into their own hands to stop extremism, or mass deportation. I don't really see any other option at this point. The population is too large. Police have arrested several people after conducting numerous overnight raids around Britain. CNN.com reports police investigating the deadliest terror attack in central London in 12 years have arrested 8 people and conducted raids at 6 addresses around Britain. As Prime Minister Theresa May revealed, the attacker was British-born and once investigated for extremism. May told MPs that the attacker was known to police but did not identify him. She said he was a powerful figure. Britain's most senior counter-terror police officer said inquiries were containing in London, Birmingham and elsewhere after a long attacker plowed a car into crowds of people before stabbing a police officer dead in the grounds of the UK Parliament. The first civilian victim was identified as a teacher, Aisha Fraid, originally from Spain. It's terrible. The fall of Western civilization is not certain, but they're damn well going to try. After overnight raids, British police have 8 suspects in custody in connection with the deadly attack in London.
Police have 8 suspects in custody in connection with the deadly vehicle and knife attack in the heart of London. Police carried out anti-terror raids overnight at 6 locations in Birmingham, London, and elsewhere. Parliament is back in session after observing a moment of silence this morning for the victims.
In all, 4 people are dead, including a policeman and the attacker. 29 people were hospitalized. At least one American tourist is among the injured, a middle-aged man who's in critical condition. Police say the attacker was inspired by international terrorism.
The attacker slammed into pedestrians on the busy Westminster Bridge before crashing into a fence at Parliament. Elizabeth Palmer is near the scene in London with details of the attack. Elizabeth, good morning.
Good morning. Well, I can tell you that a large part of the capital this morning is being treated as a crime scene. The whole area behind the bridge where it happened, just behind me and across the river, all around the Houses of Parliament, it's all closed.
Well, it's CBS, so I suppose we shouldn't be surprised, but you notice the words that they neglected to mention? Radical Islamic terrorism. Where is it said? Where is it shown? Nowhere. It's nowhere to be fucking found. And that should tell you something. Breaking. Last minute changes to healthcare bill ahead of crucial vote. The White House is trying to negotiate last-minute changes to the healthcare bill to ensure passage today. From Bloomberg, the White House is talking with House conservatives about last-minute changes to the embattled GOP healthcare bill aimed at wooing enough holdouts to secure House passage. Lawmakers and Trump administration officials are discussing revisions to essential benefit requirements in Obamacare, according to members of Congress and a White House official familiar with the discussions. The negotiations dragged late into Wednesday night, and Republicans postponed until Thursday a key procedural step before the bill gets to the floor. Holdouts in the House Freedom Caucus also pushed for changes in Obamacare's requirements that insurers cover people with pre-existing conditions, but the White House gave them a hard no, according to a White House official. Mark Meadows of North Carolina, who chairs the House Freedom Caucus, disputed that. Addressing pre-existing conditions has always been a requirement for any replacement plan that HFC would support, he said late Wednesday. Meadows said that there was no deal yet with the White House and that it was too early to tell if one would be reached overnight or Thursday. Members of the Freedom Caucus are scheduled to go to the White House Thursday morning, the same day the House is scheduled to vote on the measure. The President and I came to an agreement in principle, Meadows told Fox News late Wednesday. What we're trying to do now is make sure that our agreement is something that can be executed in the way that passes the Senate. The last procedural step. The House Rules Committee, which will make final changes to the bill before it gets a floor vote, postponed a session that lasted more than 12 hours on Wednesday as the talks with the conservative drags on. The committee plans to reconvene Thursday, finalize changes to the bill, and set the rules for how it will be debated in full House. President Donald Trump and House Speaker Paul Ryan have been working to win over conservative rebels who stand in the way of their Obamacare replacement measure. Late Wednesday, Meadows said there are signs of movement. I've prayed several times over this, and it probably wouldn't help to just do a little personal prayer for this, because we need to keep on winning here. And Trump has brought us this far not to fail, but to win.